Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Mr. Kovalt, and in this video I'm going to show you a simple way of how to convert between different metric units. So let's get into this. So the first thing you need to know are the prefixes. So when you're converting between different metric units, you have a base unit like a meter or gram or liter. Those would be base units. And you'll notice that those units don't have prefixes in front of them. So you have meter would be a base unit, or liter, or gram. So these would be base units uh, that your other units are going to be based upon, right? So then the rest of this is you have some prefixes. So if you have, like, say, a meter, you add a prefix to that and it becomes kilometer. So kilo being added to the base unit now changes the unit to something else, something similar. And the great thing about the metric unit is that the units differ by factors of 10. So you are either multiplying by factors of 10 or you're dividing by factors of 10. And so so the difference between a meter and a kilometer is some factor of 10. In this case, it's a factor of 1,000. So a kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters, or 10 to the third, or multiplying by 10 three times, right? And so how do you know, how do you convert from meter to kilometers, or kilometers to meters, or anything like that? Well, the first thing you need to do is you got to know the prefixes, and you've got to know the order that the prefixes are in. And so here's the order of the main prefixes that you should know. So this is K for kilo, H for hecta, D for deca, B for the base unit, D for deci, C for centi, and M for milli. And you'll notice that these are smaller case and these are larger. Actually, that should be a smaller case. So K. So these are the abbreviations of those prefixes that are at the beginning of your unit. So for example, kilometer, kilo is small k. So we would abbreviate that if the K for kilo, and then the unit for meter is m. So that would be km. So small k, small m, that would be kilometer. If it was millimeter, this small m here is for milli. So if we're millimeter, so instead of kilometer, we add millimeter, it would be, let me write it here, milli, and then meter, that would be mm. So the second letter is your base unit letter. So M for meter, the first letter here, that's your prefix, your abbreviated prefix, the letter for your prefix. So small k for kilo, small m for milli. So you have to know the names. So kilo, hecto, deca, base, deci, centi, milli, and then know the order. And there's a nice way, a good mnemonic device to help you remember the order. You can remember King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. So King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. So if you can remember that, then you can remember the order. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. You don't have to use that mnemonic device. There's a lot of other devices you could use. I'm sure there's plenty on the internet that you could find, or you can make one up yourself. Anything that will help you learn the order of the prefixes. So once you know the order of the prefixes, you could always write them down, and then you can use this order to help you figure out how to convert from one unit to the other. And the direction you're going to move is going to be the direction that's going to help you do that. So let's erase this here and let's do some example problems. So the first thing you need to do is in your problem, you got to figure out where you're beginning, what unit you're starting with, and what unit you're ending with. So let's say they give me 36.72 centimeters, right? And they want me to convert that to meters, right? And meters is cm centimeters, right? So I want to go from centimeters to meters. So basically, I write out my my order here. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk, and I say, okay, well, I'm starting with centimeters, so I'm going to start here, and I want to get to meters. Meters is a base unit. There's no prefix, so whenever you have a unit that has no prefix, that is the base unit. So we want to go to the base unit. So we're moving from centimeter to meter at the base unit. So we're going this way. So that means how many times do we have to move over? We're moving over from C to B. We're moving over 1, 2. So we're moving over 2 places to the left. And so that means that if we're moving 2 places to the left here, that means we're moving 2 places to the left with our decimal point here. So let me make this clear. So there's my decimal point. So I'm going to move the decimal point 2 places to the left. 1, 2. So that means that 36.72 centimeters is equal to 0.3672 meters. So now I have it in meters. So whichever direction you're moving on this scale here, that's the direction you're moving your decimal point. And the number of places you have to move is the number of times you have to move your decimal point. And one thing I want to point out here, notice that I'm moving from centimeter to base unit. So here, as you go this way, your unit is getting from smaller to larger. So the unit is getting bigger going this way, right? So the larger the unit, the smaller the number. Notice that I'm moving the decimal point over twice, and now I've got a smaller number, but I've got a larger unit. How much smaller is this number? By a factor of 2/10. So notice that every time I move the decimal point, I'm decreasing the number by a factor of 10. It's like dividing by 10. So if I'm moving this way, each time I move this way, I'm dividing my number by 10. So I divide by 10 once, I divide by 10 twice. Okay. So then my number goes down by a factor of 100, but my unit it gets bigger by that factor as well, because a meter is 100 times bigger than a centimeter. So this number, this length here is the same as this length. Okay, let's try a different number. Okay, let's say I have 0.02975 let's say kilograms. So I want to go from kilograms, and they want to know, well, how many grams is that? So notice that notice that the abbreviation for gram is little g. That's your second letter here, and then this letter in front is K. That's your prefix. And so now we know where we're beginning. We're beginning with kilograms, and we want to get grams, and grams is the base unit. So in this case, we're starting with a larger unit. We want to start with kilograms, and then we want to move to the base unit. So we're going to go all the way to the base unit here. So now that we know which direction we're going, we count how many times we move. So 1, 2, 3. So we're moving 3 places to the right. So that means we're going to move our decimal point here. So here's our decimal point. We're going to move our decimal point 3 times over to the right. So we're going to move over 1, 2, 3, and that gives us 29.75. So 0.02975 kilograms is equal to 29.75 grams. So we've now successfully converted kilograms to grams. And again, notice what happened with the number compared to the unit. So notice that we're going from a larger unit to a smaller unit. So here we're going this way, and we move the unit 3 times. So each time we move over, we're getting a smaller unit, and it decreases by a factor of 10. But notice that the number, when you move your decimal point over, the number increases by a factor of 10. So it's like you're multiplying by 10 each time. So you multiply by 10 once, multiply by 10 twice, multiply by 10 a third time. You're multiplying by 1,000 basically. And so now you get 29.75 grams. And so that's how you can figure out how to convert from one unit to the other. Okay. I think those are some good examples. So I hope this is helpful. If you enjoyed this, if this helped you out, let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions, if you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell. Thanks for joining me, and have a great day.